The demands of being a Ranger spouse means being busy with overwhelming responsibility. Ranger spouses are serving too and proud of that. However, those responsibilities to their Rangers and their families can be consuming that the spouses risk losing sight of themselves.
Yep.
How do Ranger spouses grow and stay focused without losing their own identities?
It's the same advice for any human being. One of the things that I find fascinating about being human is that being human is a paradox. Every single moment of every single day, we are both individuals and members of groups, every day. And every day we're confronted with small or sometimes big decisions. Do I put myself first at the sacrifice of the group? Or do I put the group first at the sacrifice of myself? And there's an entire school of thought that says you always put yourself first, because if you're not healthy, how can you take care of the group? And there's an entire school of thought that says, no, you always put the group first, because only if you take care of the group will they be there to take care of you. And the answer is you're both right and you're both wrong. It's a paradox. And it goes back to balance again, which is to be unbalanced on either side is unhealthy. To always put yourself first might be great for you, but you'll struggle to build relationships, you'll struggle to build trust, and in hard times, people won't be there for you. Or all your relationships become transactional, which is, I'll do this for you if you do this for me. If you're always there for the group, it comes a great personal sacrifice where you start to lose your own identity, as you said, or sometimes even make yourself unhealthy because you're constantly sacrificing and sacrificing. That's martyrdom. That's not healthy either. And so I think it's a constant balance, quite frankly. And I think what a lot of spouses can learn to do, and again, this is every human being can learn to do, is learn when to say no. And it's very, very hard because sometimes we feel like we're letting the group down. What I've learned the hard way is that learning to say no, people are actually more grateful for than trying to say yes to everybody and then not being able to fulfill the obligations you've said yes to everybody to, which has been my struggle. I've said yes to everybody, trying to make everything fit during the day. Then I was running late here and I couldn't get to the next thing. And all of a sudden it all, dominoes, and I've let down 3 people. Where if all I'd said is no to one in the middle, I would have been just fine. And it turns out that people are okay with a no because they understand. So I think learning to say no and find the balance of self, it just has to be prioritized. And you'll hear me say this over and over again, talk about it. Talk about it out loud. For one spouse to say, I'm struggling, I think I'm losing my own identity and I'm struggling to look after myself, I can almost guarantee someone else will say, me too. And just like you have a battle buddy, if you're going to do something difficult, like learn to say no, you can have an accountability buddy where you say, okay, let's do this together. We're both going to agree that, whatever it is, once a week, twice a month, whatever you want to do, you can make it on a schedule or not, that we're going to do something for ourselves, entirely for ourselves, something entirely selfish. I'm going to sit in bed till noon. I'm going to take an hour-long bath. I mean, whatever it is, I'm going to go for whatever it is. You can do whatever you want. And you just make a deal with someone and you hold each other accountable. But I think it's too difficult to simply do it alone. Just like we said, you don't go into battle alone. So why would you do something difficult like this alone? I think the more that you can find at least one person who's going through the same thing and you commit to helping them, that's another good one, which is the act of service. So strange analogy, but bear with me. So the reason Alcoholics Anonymous works is because of service. We're most of us are familiar with the 12-step program, and most of us have at least heard of the first step. First step which is admit you have a problem, but it's the 12th step that is the most important. People with addiction problems know that if you master the first 11 steps and not the 12th, you probably will succumb to the disease. But if you master the 12th, you're more likely to beat it. The 12th step is to help another alcoholic, service. And so if you can find someone who's struggling with the same thing that you're struggling with, and instead of committing to help yourself, you commit to help them, the irony is you're more likely to help yourself. So somebody who's struggling to find time for themselves, if you help them find time for themselves, you're more likely to find time for yourself. The act of service is actually, of somebody who's dealing with the same problem, is actually going to help you solve yours as well, ironically.